You wrote a book called "We Are All Apes."
That's correct.
Where's your proof that we are all apes?
What is an ape?
Right. What is the ape?
Right. An ape is any member of the taxonomic superfamily Hominoidea.
Amazing. Have you ever seen a human being turn into you ever seen an ape? Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Have I ever seen a dog turn into a dachshund?
No. Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human
Have
being?
I ever seen a car turn into a Corvette?
Are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Have I ever seen a shark turn into a fish?
I didn't ask about any of those things. I asked, when have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
I'm trying to illustrate the fallacy of your question.
How's that fallacy? You wrote that we're all ape. You must have.
And we are.
You
And that
must
book,
have at some point all these hundreds of
Right, the
thousands
proof
of
is in there.
years. At some
that
point,
book is-
you would
that book
have
is
seen
24
if
illustrated
an
pages long.
ape turned into a human being. Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Once again, humans are apes in the same way that a duck is a bird. So if you ask me if I've ever seen a bird turn into a duck, that's kind of a stupid question.
Because I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. I asked you. I asked you. Ask. Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
That is a nonsense question.
Why?
Because it's like asking for a place halfway between Los Angeles and California.
No, it's not. I didn't ask about that.
I know. Well, you don't know what you asked.
I do know. You wrote this book called "We Are All Apes,"
and it gives the proof
I'm
in
asking,
the book.
have you personally seen a human being, an ape turn into a human being?
It would be impossible for a human being to be anything other than an ape, for the same reason that it is impossible for a dachshund to be anything but a dog. Have you ever seen a dog turn into a dachshund?
Why are you running from that question?
I'm not. I'm answering
you're
the
running.
question. I'm illustrating.
No,
what's
you're
wrong with the
running.
question.
You're running from that question. You wrote this book that we are apes.
I'm facing you head on, answering your question directly.
No, you're not.
Humans are a subset of the category of apes.
I didn't ask you that.
We start
I asked
out
you
apes.
how
We can't. So therefore, it makes no sense to ask how the parent category turns into the subcategory. It is exactly the same as asking if I've ever seen a bird turn into a duck. Do you understand why your question? Have you ever seen a bird turn into a duck? How about I ask you that?
But that
question?
wasn't the question.
But that's the same question, isn't it?
You wrote the book saying we are. You tried to divert. You tried to deviate from the question. You wrote a book called "We Are All Apes." And so how can you write a book that says we're all ape when you've never seen a ape turn into a human being?
Have you ever seen a duck turn into a? Have you ever seen a bird turn into a duck?
Why are you dodging the question, man?
I'm not dodging the question. I'm answering it.
No, you're not.
Can
like when I
asked
My God, dude.
You went all
I answered
around.
that question.
I asked you where you going. You tell me where you been.
And I answered your question directly.
No, you didn't. You're not answering this
Yes, I
one.
did.
So one more time with that, and then we have to move on.
You don't
Have you
understand what the
ever
word
seen
ape
an
means.
ape?
That's why I'm trying to explain it to you.
Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Okay, let's look at that. What does the word ape mean? That means a bipedal hominoid with a certain number of hair follicles, with a certain type of teeth, with fingerprints and fingernails. That means all of these descriptive features that we share. Have I ever seen us turn into us?
You just use the word, but you're not making sense because I do
know,
want to
because
know.
You don't know anything at all about taxonomy
Okay.
whatsoever. So how can I?
So you're not able to answer
taxonomy
that
somebody
question.
Who doesn't know anything about it.
So you're not able to answer that question. I want to do a follow-up.
Do you understand that the word ape is a taxonomic question? Right? That's a taxonomic word. Do you understand what it means?
No, that's not the question, though. You're deviating.
No, I'm not deviating. What
now,
does the word
if you
ape
should
mean?
prove to me that you've seen an ape turn into a human being,
what does the word ape mean?
Word can mean many things. But let me ask you this.
But this word means one thing. What does it mean?
I have no idea.
It means any member of the taxonomic superfamily Hominoidea, which means that it has a number of these characteristics: fingernails and fingerprints, the certain type of dentition that we have, the certain type of ears that we have. all of these characters, the two pectoral mammae, etc. There's a whole long list of different physical characteristics that define what an ape is.
Okay,
so
fine. I don't care about the humanity, but what I do want to know, I do want to know if you ever seen an ape.
You want to ask me a nonsense question?
I want to know if you ever seen an ape turn into a human being. After all these years, you would have think that somebody, somewhere, somehow, would have seen an ape turn into a human being, and no one has ever seen that.
I have seen it.
You're asking a question that makes no sense.
Even the people in books that you have read and the folks that you listen to have never seen that.
Are we done here? Because you're not going to listen to my explanation. You're asking me
because you're not answering my question.
I am answering your question.
You're going around my question.
You don't understand what it means.
You're going around my question. You're not answering my question.
I did not go around your question.
You did. I asked you, have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
You don't know what the word ape means.
I don't care about the word. I do know what it means. I'm asking you.
Okay, then tell me, what does the word ape mean?
I asked you, have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
You're using these words. I want to know what you think these words mean. Because I know what the words mean.
The one thing I know for sure.
Yeah, I know for sure what the words mean.
For sure.
And I can prove what the words mean, but you
and
using
no
them
one
incorrectly,
has
and I
ever
think you are
seen
using them incorrectly.
My God, dude. I mean, is he gonna get hung up on the same troll? Like, even Borat knows 4 minutes ago to change the question, you know? Like, he sometimes he just goes too hard on the very same fucking thing.